Oh boy, it's 3 a.m. Let's get the spoiler video started. Hi everybody, I'm Griff Rider, and the first card is Desolator Magic. It's a 2/1 for 3 flying human knight with training. That means if it swings with something else bigger, it gets a counter. So it's like Mentor, except the triggering card is smaller, so it's more likely to not survive the swing. I bet you can pull it off in a draft or a sealed event though. Next up we got Apprentice Sharpshooter. So it's a 3-cost 1/4 human archer with reach and training. I see training makes sense on this one because it's a 1/4. It could probably get away with the swing. And the last one was flying, so, you know, okay. Now, I still haven't finished the last chapter of the lore from Midnight Hunt here. I really should get around to doing that. So, first, they tried getting Jodie Foster to build the device from Contact, and then they threw an Oktoberfest, and that was supposed to do something. Now they're going to try military training, making the troops stronger. What a concept. Next up, Gluttonous Guest. Oh, there's always one at every wedding. It's usually me. So this is a 1/4 for 3, vampire, black. And when Gluttonous Guest enters the battlefield, create a blood token. And then whenever you sacrifice a blood token, you gain 1 life. A little bit of block power, a little bit of synergy. I would not count this out just because it looks like a filler common, because I think it's a little bit better than that. Next up, we got Weary Prisoner, a 4-cost 2/6 human werewolf with Defender and Daybound. So that's coming back because no matter what Wizards retconned now, they had originally stated that this was one set that they split into 2. So this was probably supposed to be in the last set. So it's a flip card too. So when it goes to Knight, it's a 6/6. Hello. And of course it's Wrathful Jailbreaker because what did you expect? So it attacks every combat if able because it's pissed. And Nightbound. But see, there's a secret hidden on this card, okay? It's a big 6/6 red aligned beast coming through a wall. So, I mean, all I gotta say is the flavor text should say, oh yeah. Yeah, it's the Kool-Aid man. So anyway, next up we've got the Rot-Tide Gargantua, which is the giant zombie kraken. Well, it's not literally giant, it's just zombie kraken, but it is large. Tuna may be the chicken of the sea, but he's the chonker of the sea. I'm not going to apologize for that joke. F*** off. This is my channel. We make tuna jokes. Leave if you don't like it. So it's a 5-cost double black 5/4 with exploit because duh. And when it exploits a creature, each opponent sacrifices a creature. I'm not sure if it would actually add synergy or slow down the deck to put a bunch of exploit, big boys in like a pest deck, but I guarantee you it would make a blue-black zombie deck a lot better. Because those zombies, they can't really attack on the ground. They're useless. We already know, because Mark already said, that we're going to see a card that grants flying to all zombies, which is going to be a catastrophe. I mean, unless it costs like 7, though. See, we don't know. It could be an emblem. We don't know. But then you add exploit to it, because, I mean, they can't block, they can't attack, they're useless. Now you might have something here. But, I mean, this costs 5, and it's not that good of a card, so I don't know. By the way, see if this flavor text makes any sense to you. Now that it doesn't need to breathe, its hunting ground extends well beyond the sea. Or, the exact opposite. So next up, Sigarda's back with Sigarda Summons, and she's ready to whoop some ass. She got that, I don't know, extra large shillelagh. I don't know what that is. And her new mission, it just popped up on her HUD, says Quest number 1, main storyline. Find some vampire's ass and beat them. So creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have base power and toughness 4/4. Okay. Plus the counters, by the way. Have flying and are angels in addition to their other types. Holy shit. I mean, I'd say this would take the white life gain deck and make it completely mental, but like, you would just drop this in for 6 and win. You might as well just run Exalted and run that and win. Like, I don't know. Like, it seems perfect for it, but it costs 6. You know what I mean? So here's a little bonus for you here. I know you're going to find this very interesting. I'm actually not sarcastic this time. It's hard to tell with me. With Olivia distracted, Sigarda tore free from her bindings and summoned her host of herons. And you might think, those don't look like cranes. Yeah, I don't get it either. I guess that's what she calls them, whatever. Well, on the invitation that leaked or got released by Wizards, whatever the hell happened there, it came out like 2 days ago, we found out that the text on the outside border references Heron's blood. So they need the blood of like one of her angels or her, and then it says, well, Olivia's distracted, so Sigarda, tore free of her binding. So whether somebody else bound her, or Olivia stole her blood and then bound her, or probably the other way around, well, spoiler alert, she gets through. Also, this is card 404, which is just funny by itself, and it says P bundle, which I guess is short for promotional bundle card. So this is going to be, I'd say exclusive to the bundle, but I don't think so. I think it's what they did for the last couple sets is they made it in the bundle, like an auto include, but you can still open it in the packs. And I don't just mean the ancillary spot, like the real packs. Also, in the art, red rose petals. So she busts into the wedding and wrecks up the place. Good. I hope all the vampires die. I really, really hope all the vampires die. I hate vampires. So a lot to unpack there, but we got to move on. So next up, we got Drogskull Infantry. Yeah, see, I learned from Lord of the Rings, if your army is already dead, like, what do you even do? What do you, slice through them with a sword? I bet they went up to Teferi, okay, and they were like, Teferi, what do? We want to go stop these stupid-ass vampires, and probably I really should read the last of Chapter 5. We've got to go kill something, because it's Innistrad, and it's awful. What do we do, Teferi? Do you have any ideas? And he sits there for a second, and he's like, ghosts and shit. You know, I could have read the card before I actually said that. This is a vanilla 2/2 for 2. It doesn't even fly. What does he flip into? Something that's not shit, hopefully? All right, so, wait. Oh, he turns into equipment, or somebody else picks up his equipment? Okay. Well, okay, I'm going to read the flavor text so I don't confuse. He says, he swore to protect the Moorlands. A little thing like death was no excuse to break his oath. Right? That's straight on Lord of the Rings. Now I think they just copied him. Oh, spoilers for a movie that came out like 18 years ago. So it's Drogskull Armaments. It's an aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. So it's not true equipment, but it's like ghost equipment, which is obviously, you know, an enchantment. Duh. And if Drogskull Armaments would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile instead. So kind of neat. So, okay, explain this one to me. The flavor text is, when he could no longer carry on, he imparted his strength to the one who took up his duty. Couldn't carry on, but still has strength. Dies, which, what is that about? How does that happen? How did he take damage? Did he get dispelled? And then, why are inanimate objects part of his ghost form anyway? And then how can somebody pick it up after he's gone when they're sourced by him or powered by him, but he ran out of batteries? Oh, wait, I forgot the famous fantasy saying. It's magic, I ain't gotta explain shit. So next up, we've got Fellstinger. It's a 3-cost 3/2 Death Touch Zombie Scorpion, and it has Exploit, because of course it does, and when it exploits a creature, target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. So that's kind of nice. It's like, you know, you might run this because Death Touch creature. I think it's a little high and a little unbalanced. I'd prefer it to be like a 1/3 for 2, but whatever. I mean, you could also have it not just be a stupid block count and have it do 3 damage when you swing with it. I mean, you know, that's not terrible. So you might run that in your deck, and then you might run a sack and draw kind of things. Well, now you got them both, except you have to kill something else. So you have the option of like kind of taking a card that's already in play, or a token, which is kind of nice, and then turning it into a spell that sacks a creature and draws cards, kind of. Except it's kind of a little bit net lower. So like this whole exploit thing, especially that effect, it looks pretty good. Next up, a very interesting card. We've got By Invitation Only. Now it does cost 5 in its sorcery speed, so that does limit what you can do, but choose a number between 0 and 13. Mark confirmed he's pretty sure that that's written incorrectly, and it doesn't have to be between 0 and 13. It can include 0 and 13. So you can choose 1, you can choose 0 if you're an idiot, and you can choose 13. How something that basic and obvious didn't come up in testing is amazing. But anyway, each player, including you, sacrifices that many creatures. So you might be thinking, oh, well, 100% of the time people would just equalize with it, which, or what is that Judgment or Judges, something scales, whatever that famous card is, where it's like, if they have more, creatures than you, they sack down to the number you have. Well, who says you can't blow up 1 or 2 of your creatures? Hell, just choose 13 and blow everything straight to hell for 5. I mean, that's your classic board wipe right there in white. It does typically cost 5, just not, lately. But this is sacrifice, not destroy. So, like, they're gone. It doesn't matter if they're a stupid Toski. I was going to say indestructible, but let's be honest. It's Toski, the demon gerbil from hell. So, I mean, the fact that you have options here is huge. And you know what? I mean, I could, if I had 8 mana, flash in that Guardian that phases out any number of creatures you control, and then you just drop this on top of it. So that would be insane. So, I mean, phased out means until your next upkeep, they're gone, but they don't lose counters, auras, or equipment. or modified statuses or anything, and then you don't get the ETB or the leave trigger or any of that stuff. So that's a hell of a combo. I mean, I don't know if I could pull it off even in my white decks, but it would be kind of fun. So the flavor text here is interesting. The red envelopes guarantee safe passage through the Lurim barrier, which I suspect they're going to lure him, burrow under the ground, and then break into the wedding and kill everybody. And like I said in the last video, we know Chandra's there for some reason, so that's a whole thing. Who the heck would invite her? My theory is she's a vampire now, but, and don't think I'm just making that up because, ooh, wouldn't that be shocking? Ooh, crazy theory, ooh. Mark said that it was either 1 or 2, I forgot what he said, characters that weren't vampires are now vampires. Now, she didn't look very pale in the artwork, but maybe, like, that's the whole point. I mean, I'll be honest with you, why the hell else would they possibly invite her? But then again, if she just shows up and she's like, I'm a vampire, well, still, why would they invite her? It sounds like it's not just, oh, people with the red letter envelope thing, or that are just random vampires can get into the wedding. So I'm very curious to see what's going on with that. I swear, there's 3 things I think of when I hear about this wedding. 1, Twilight, which I didn't see. 2, Game of Thrones, which I didn't see. And 3, the Thalmor Embassy quest from Skyrim. And I saw the hell out of that shit. Oh, I saw it, I ran through it, and I burned it all straight to hell. Let's hope Chandra has a similar strategy. Stealth is optional, Chandra. Go get him. Next up, we've got Massive Might. Oh, hey, Chonk. Look at that Chonk snail. So it's a 1-cost instant in green that gives a target creature +2/+2 and it gains trample until end of turn. I know, how unique. Look, they got to throw in some basic staple stuff for draft and even constructed. And actually, we don't have very many of these right now in green. Not that green needs any kind of power update at all. And oh my god, this flavor text, I love it. This wins flavor text of the year right here. Run, it's coming for us. Eventually. It's like that Futurama scene where he's like, I'm gonna crash into you, and he's going like 1 mile an hour. Or if you're European, 1 Brexit per acid attack or whatever. I don't do the metrics. By the way, that's totally not true. Literally everybody in America uses both. Anyway, next up we've got Angie. I have no idea. Maid of Dishonor. You know what? We're gonna go with Angie. What the hell? So we got a 4/5 black red +2 generic 4-cost legendary creature vampire, and when Angie, Maid of Dishonor, and or 1 or more other vampires enter the battlefield under your control. I swear that's not how you officially write that in the Oracle text, but okay. Create a blood token. This ability triggers only once per turn. Good, otherwise that would be ridiculous. And then if you pay 2, sacrifice another creature or a blood token. Each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. I started to think if you use the blood tokens for anything even resembling their actual written use, you're out of your mind. What's written on them is basically the backup plan. And I called it yesterday, saw that coming a mile away. Next up we got Demonic Bargain. Ooh, what's going on here? Oh, she spit in the fountain and then a giant tentacle crab demon was like, stop spitting in my fountain. Psh, slap. Makes sense. So it's a 3-cost rare black sorcery. Hello. Exile the top 13 cards of your library. Already hated, don't even care what the rest says. Then search your library for a card. Oh, search your remaining library for the card. Okay. Okay, because I was going to say, otherwise this is figuratively 10 times as consistent as Coco. But yeah, then you put that card into your hand, then shuffle. And guess what? I didn't hear anything about those cards coming back from exile. So that's the whole bargain part. That's the downside. There's always a downside. And here we go again. The flavor text is, do not try to negotiate with me, human. You want power? This is the price. Ormondal, which I guess isn't dead. I forget who. I don't think he was a contract holder. He's more into like bitcoins and crypto, emerging foreign market corporate bonds. Not really bitchy 2,000-year-old necromancer contracts. He was right. Not a very good return on those, it turns out. So yeah, I guess Ormondal's in here, I guess. You know, Ormondal doesn't have tentacles, so I'm not really sure what's going on there, but let's move on. We've got Gralnock, the Nom-Nom-Nomnivore. So he is a 4-cost blue-green 3/3 frog, and whenever a frog you control attacks, so it could be a different frog, but how many of those are there? And I don't think this card merits running like a changeling deck or something. Although Faceless Haven is a frog, just saying. But yeah, you mill 3 cards, then whenever a permanent card is put into your graveyard from your library, so in other words, when you mill yourself, exile it with a croak counter on it, and then he grants those cards the ability of you may play lands and cast spells from among cards you own in exile with croak counters on them. So if he goes away, the ability to cast those goes away. So I think, whatever, Discount Loki, I think he worked the opposite way. Like, it said, those cards gain, you can cast this card. And then that's like written on the card, basically. So whether he's still in play or not, it doesn't matter, you can play them. So I think this is the way more fair version. Now, do I think you're going to get away clean with a 3/3 attacking? Probably not. Do I think you're going to have another frog? Probably not, besides Faceless Haven. And don't forget the golden rule of Magic the Gathering. If you have 4 of one card and 4 of another, they are never going to meet up in a game without a hell of a lot of assistance or really good luck, and it ain't going to happen consistently. But if you can constantly make them unblockable or something, there you go. So we'll have to see if anybody does anything with this. So anyway, next up we've got Wedding Announcement. Oh, look how happy they are. What a bunch of douchebag vampires. God, do I hate vampires. So it's a 3-cost white enchantment. It's a rare, and at the beginning of your end step, put an invitation counter on Wedding Announcement. If you attacked with 2 or more creatures this turn, draw a card. Otherwise, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Then if Wedding Announcement has 3 or more invitation counters on it, transform it. So it gains the counter no matter what, but then it's got like that, oh, it actually does something in the meantime. Okay, cool. And on the back, we've got Wedding Festivity, which is just simply creatures you control get +1/+1. And it should be that indirect to get a Universal Lords card. Instead of just, I dropped it in for 3 mana, it's colorless, I don't know, pick a color, white. Okay, everything white is giant now, and I'm not legendary. Woo, f*** you. Historically, that's proven to be a bit overpowered. Like the last 6 years. So honestly, if you're going to say, everything in play, or virtually everything in play because I built my deck the right way, gets +1/+1, or like that stupid angel that's +2/+2, it should be this roundabout. You should have to wait 3 freaking turns. It should be hard to pull off something that unbelievably overpowered, I'm just saying. But it seems like every time we get a new set, Wizards is like, oh, what's in here? Okay, the pirates, dinosaurs, woo, Lord card, color-based Lord card, tribal Lord card without legendary, cost 2, woo! It's like, calm down. God, Tribal's already bad enough. So anyway, next up, we've got Dominating Vampire and Lord card. Oh, wait, false alarm. It's not a Lord card. Got a little carried away. I went full Wizards for a second there. I don't mean to make fun of Wizards and their Lord card Tourettes, but they really should fire whoever keeps doing that to every freaking set. So, yeah, Dominating Vampire has the really, really cool looking showcase frame. It's just simple 3D with a little bit of, decoration. Keep it simple. It's got the sharp edges because, sharp edges, fangs, Transylvania style or Gothic or whatever the hell that is. So it's a double red 3-cost 3/3 creature vampire. When Dominating Vampire enters the battlefield, I wonder if it'll be an act of treason. Oh look, gain control of target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of vampires you control. Oh, thank God there's a limit on it. Until end of turn, untap it, it gains haste. I mean, we know how this works. So okay, it's good, but it's only good in a Vampire Swarm deck, so I can appreciate that. Next up, this video is sponsored by Geistlight. If you've got a giant mosquito problem, get a giant Geistlight. So it's a 3-cost blue instant, and this spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a spirit. It also costs 1 less to cast if you control an enchantment. Holy crap. But counter target spell unless its controller pays 3, which is, it's a middling amount. I mean, in a fast deck, which, in other words, not blue, making something cost 1 or 2 more is fine because you're going to do all your real important stuff and start wiping out cards and dominating the board and state by like turn 4, 5, or 6. But that's not necessarily how I would describe at least a mixed color spirit deck. I mean, we've all seen the White Weenie Blitz deck. That one's pretty good. A lot of flying power, a lot of distribution, and board wipes don't come too easy unless they're playing white and they can foretell it. Or Vanquishing. My God, I love that spell so much. Actually, red has a board wipe too that can wipe out like a whole bunch of those. Why does anybody play that? How did that do so well at the last tournament? Anyway, I mean, yeah, 3, okay. I mean, late game, this is going to do nothing, which is why I don't like it. And then, like, late game, you have 3 mana. So, I mean, okay, this is kind of cool because it's single blue. So, in maybe a 3-color deck, yeah, I'd go for this. But, I mean, I've had it be like turn 15 and people light up like 2 of these and I just pay 6. Or cards like it, I should say. And I'm like, wow, don't you wish you would have paid, 1 more mana for just a cancel, just a vanilla-ass cancel so that my spell would go away? The spell that I'm winning the game with right now? People get way too obsessed with mana efficiency, which is why I don't like this. Oh, I meant it's great. Buy one now to help your mosquito problem. Next up, we've got Wedding Invitation. 2-cost common artifact, colorless. And when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. All right, simple. We've had a lot of stuff like this, and people can get some results out of it. Usually it's just kind of a deck shrinker. But if you tap it, sack it. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. If it's a vampire, it also gains lifelink. Okay, so like a delayed cost, invest it, almost like Foretell, really. Oh, unblockable spell, and a deck shrinker. That's kind of interesting. I think this is a pretty good card. Next up, a mythic rarity werewolf. Here we go. Volatile Arsonist. Look at that disapproving look on the wolf's face. He's like, dude, you gotta get over your pyromania. You gotta get some therapy there, bro. Son, am disappoint. But anyway, he's a 5-cost double red 4/4 human werewolf with menace and haste, which that's annoying. And whenever Volatile Arsonist attacks, it deals 1 damage to each of up to 1 target creature, up to 1 target player, and or up to 1 target planeswalker. Okay, that's a neat little effect because it can affect the blocking and stuff. But that's his daybound side. Let's see, his nightbound side. Oh yeah, he's just coming in with the whole damn tree. And he's downwind of his own flame. It's about to set his head on fire, and he's about an inch away from burning his paws. What a moron. So anyway, 5/5 menace haste, cool. Whenever Dire Strain Anarchist attacks, it deals 2 damage to up to 1. It's the same bullshit from the other side, and then nightbound, obviously. So that is insanely good if you can get your mana high enough to get it out. So next up, we got Change of Fortune. It's a red card. Hey, I got a clean recording of that. And discard your hand, then draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn, or as we like to call it, Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, I mean, the proper fair way to do this is you only get 1 card for every card you discarded. I think 4 might be a little high, but they seem to have a lot of confidence in this making it a rare, so I don't know. I'm kind of curious, like, who this is, if this is Olivia or what, and what the hell's going on with this. I mean, that looks like maybe the Heron's Blood, and is the wedding a farce and she's just casting a spell? I mean, there's no flavor text on this. And you know what? I wonder if they purposely did the extended art version, because I think those tend to not have flavor text, but the real one would have given away a huge story point. But then it also doesn't say story spotlight on the bottom of the card, but maybe the extended art one doesn't. That is actually really interesting. Hell, if this whole video is interesting, leave a like, just saying. Oh, and if you hate this video, why are you still here? And f*** off. Next up, Vampire's Vengeance. It's a 3-cost red instant, and Vampire's Vengeance deals 2 damage to each non-vampire creature. Oh, that's annoying. That is ridiculous. I mean, that is like by itself game ending in the uncommon slot if you're running vampires. And then on top of it, create a blood token, because of course. So Olivia, who is a complete bitch, was quick to make an example of any village that refused to pay her blood tithe. Then I'd be like, oh yeah, here's the blood for you, and she like sniffs it and just dies because it's actually marinara sauce with garlic, bitch. Oh, congratulations on the wedding. Burn in hell. I mean, I get it. Everybody on Innistrad is a moron, and they should just like solve their problems or leave or like stop having kids or something and just let the whole plane go to shit. But they've all just been like beaten down and they just tolerate all this shit. The fact that their entire plane is an absolute like demon-infested shithole. But now she's coming around like, pay the blood tax. Bitch, people don't even donate enough blood at the blood centers and you get paid for that in our realm. Set up a claymore to be like, here's a little postcard, okay? You set it on a little bowl and you go, here's your blood, Olivia, smile emoji, boom, detonate the claymore, this side towards enemy, what's good? Little tiny stakes go flying out. Or have like 1,000 werewolves just like jump her and then put up a bunch of nets so she can't fly away. Come on, village people. You're sitting there just singing YMCA. Fucking do something about your problems. You guys are pathetic. I really, more than anything, hope Chandra just nukes, just incinerates the entire wedding. And just, there are no more vampires on all of the whole plane. Although, I mean, why would they all be at the wedding? Obviously, like, I don't think the Falcon Rats are even going to be there, or one of those 4 families or whatever. It's really, what is it, the Markovs and the Volderan? Is that? I don't know the lore, but you know, okay. It would take out the ones that people hate the most, the douchiest ones. The nobles, the 1%. Well, anyway, that's it for your episode of Death Should Have Written the Lore, and that is actually the last card. So follow Desolator Tactics for more anti-vampire military ambush guerrilla tactics. And I'll see you guys next video.